Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we are back on the free-to-play because I wanted to show you a little bit of a, let's call it a secret or a trick that, you know, maybe some of you were not aware or did not think about doing this that way. And what I'm talking about is the Doom Tower, okay? So we all know that the Doom Tower has two sides of it. The normal Doom Tower and the hard Doom Tower, which, you know, obviously the harder Doom Tower is a little bit harder to tackle. And what I want to mention about this one is the fact that maybe you should try and think twice before starting your Doom Tower rotation. Where do you actually want to go and like how do you want to do it? What I mean about this is the fact that we have this over here, the reward info. Okay, if you click over here, every time you pass a certain boss, it shows you what rewards you can get. So for example, on stage 10 normal, I can get from the Magma Dragon, I can get 6 to 11 of the rare Magma Core, so I can forge, you know, the Fatal set. But then if I go on the hard mode and click the reward info over here, it says I can get 1 up to 3 or 1 or just 1 of the legendary ones. So 1 up to 3 of the epic and 1 of the legendary ones. What does this mean? Well, this means that if I can farm this one, I can get myself epic and legendary, what's it called? Cores, so that I can go in the forge and then let me show you in the fatal means I'm gonna be able to start farming 5 and 6 star pieces of gear, which is kind of the goal at the end of the day. You know, you're trying to progress yourself as further as you can. You're trying to go away from the 3, 4 star, even from the 4 stars over here. You don't really want to try and use them. You're trying to get yourself as more 5 and 6 star pieces of gear as you can. So the whole idea and my suggestion for this one over here is the fact that if you can, even if you cannot beat the Doom Tower hard, okay, like I'm on the free-to-play, I cannot beat the Doom Tower on hard, but if you can fight and beat one of, you know, the first stages, maybe the first one or the first 4, you can beat them, I suggest you go and do that as one of the first things so that you have this open daily so that you can use your silver keys, because every single day you get yourself 10 silver keys for free and then another 5 that are, you know, locked behind advanced quests. Sometimes something easy like, I don't know, do a clan boss, place 50 debuffs on the clan boss or do 8 million damage on the clan boss, or maybe some of the annoying ones that ask you to, I think one of them is ascend an artifact, the other ones use a Hydra key or something like that. So you might not get those 5s, but still you get 10 free silver keys per day, and you're always trying to, you know, be as efficient as possible and get the best, you know, best bang for your buck, as they call it. So or like is it bang? I think it's best bang for your buck. I don't know. Leave it in the comments below, guys. What's the actual saying? Because I always thought it's like best bang for your buck. Anyway, so what I did, for example, my free to play is but let me tell you like this. I did a safety feature just in case I got stuck, you know, because I might have gotten stuck up until the first 10 stages, then I would have lost 1 day of farming the silver keys. And because I'm somebody who tries to min-max this, first day when the Doom Tower opened, I went and got myself to stage 10 of normal, okay? First day I farmed over here, then the next day, which was yesterday, I tried to see if I passed. I'm like, okay, let me do the hard Doom Tower and see if I can get over here. So I thought I could beat stage 10. I basically got the team on farm, like I can do it with this one. It takes me like about 2 minutes. It's pretty consistent. And I'm using all my silver keys over here because, like I said, I want the best quality that I can get for my silver keys. Even though it's like, you know, they're not too many, 1 up to 3 and 1 of these ones, they gather like every 5 fights. Actually, I think you get both. Do you get? No, I think you get 1 of each. But like, if you think about it, every 5 fights, you get 5 of these ones, or like 5 to 15 of these ones. So you can stack up your cores, your magma cores, and you can get yourself more and more chances to forge and get, you know, maybe that crazy 6-star piece of gear that maybe you're stuck in dungeons. Maybe you cannot get yourself to stages 20, or I don't know, something like that. And you know that the forge itself is extremely important. I've touched on it previously, but for the forge is something that's really, you know, really good, and you do not want to sleep on it, because you know what, let's talk a little bit about the forge. Let's make this video dedicated about, you know, the Doom Tower and the forge itself and why it's so important. So if we go over at the forge, we have certain cells, and move myself to this side, that bring lots of value in this game. Not all of them, but there are some that are going to help you from the beginning up until the end. So the Swift Parry one, it's a bit of a niche one, you know, it's People use it mostly for arena, but it can be good for, you know, some damage dealers because it gives you speed and crit damage. This one's a bit tricky to get because you need the core hammers, and you can you can get them only from events or tournaments. So that's the first thing. And the player and play points program, but let's ignore that. That's pay to win. So this one can be pretty interesting, and between the two, I guess honestly I'd suggest you know, if you do get the core hammers, doing more of the swift parry, because that one seems better. Deflection can have some niche uses, but it's not as good as the swift parry in my opinion. Also, the deflection uses the bloodstones, which you want to keep your bloodstones for the next one that I'm gonna be talking about. So the swift parry also uses the, what's it called, the will stones. So will stones are the ones that you use to forge resilience. It's not a crazy set, it gives you 10% HP and 10% defense. It's kind of like meh, but if you get 5 or 6 star pieces that give you some good substats, you're definitely going to want to keep them. Like, I don't know, maybe you get a HP percent chest that gives you defense percent and speed. You're going to keep it. A speed boot with HP percent, defense percent. You know, it can be used on a variety of champions, but it's not as good. The other one that's extremely good, and it's like, this is a god tier set, and it's amazing up to into the end game. Even people in the end game are still using this. That's the perception. This one gives you accuracy, 40 accuracy, plus 5 speed. So this is basically a straight replacement for accuracy set that you can farm from the dragon. So this one's always going to be a priority on your debuffers that you want to get fast, or like even on your fast people. If you get the good speed rolls, you can get them. It doesn't cost you any energy, just costs you farming the faction wars. And these are the reasons why I started farming the faction wars as early as possible, because I want to get these materials, and I'm trying to push as high as I can with most of them so I can start getting again those legendary forging materials. Okay, so that's why, you know, you see me, oh my god, I have so many stars for faction wars. It's not because I'm like, you know, trying to get Lydia. No, it's because I'm trying to get to these points. See, from here I get legendary, epic and legendary only. I cannot get the rare ones anymore. I think it's here that I can get only epic, and then lower I get like the rare ones, which I don't really care. So I'm trying to get as high as possible, and the higher you are, the more you get. So this is again one of those reasons why faction wars is so important, not just for the glyphs that, like, you know, there's no other way in the game you can get them, but it's also for those forging materials. Okay, so let's go back in there in the forge. So yeah, these are the two ones that you can get from the faction wars. Then we have the Affinity Breaker, which honestly, in my opinion, is just straight up useless. I mean, yeah, if you forge some pieces and give you some good substats, you might use those as offset pieces, but the set itself is just too bad. This one should be like a 50% chance to change the weak hit to critical hit in order for this to be good. Then we have the Untouchable set, that it's kind of like immunity, that also gives you some resistance. This can be, again, pretty interesting for, like, if you have a Seer team, maybe you don't have the good immunity set. This is kind of like the immunity, but gives you extra resistance. It can be good for that. Or if you want certain strategies where, like, I don't know, you're facing something that puts a lot of debuffs on you, and you want that person to be in, you know, immunity so they can cleanse or they don't die. This could be good for, like, I don't know, let's say the Nether Spider. You go in there and you want your cleanser to not get all those poisons. Actually, never mind, that doesn't work because it goes through. But yeah, this one's basically an immunity set that's boosted. It's becoming less important, you know, the more advanced because of Stone Skin, but it can still have uses. Again, if you have good substats, it's good. The Fatal set, I feel like this is a good progressing set because it gives you the attack percent that's only going to be used on your nukers, but also gives you a 5% crit rate. So this one's the one that you get from the Magma Dragon, and I feel like I'm going to be farming this one mostly because this is the easiest one I can do. And it's the fastest. The recommended one would be Untouchable in this rotation. Then Frostbite is, again, it's a bit niche. I would not suggest this one. You get from Sorath, the what's it called, the Frostbiter. So I'm not sure I would recommend this one. It's not the best. There's better stuff to do out there. Bloodthirst is kind of like a lifesteal that gives you some crit rate as well. Again, it can be helpful if you need, I don't know, lifesteal on your clan boss people. You get this one, also gives you some crit rate, but again, the more you progress in the game, the less you're gonna need lifesteal, in my opinion, so it's nothing too special. Then we get to the Guardian Gear. Well, Guardian Gear, I've mentioned in one of my previous videos, this is like a god tier set, guys. So this one can be extremely helpful for arena champions. This one can be extremely helpful in Hydra. This can be extremely helpful in clan boss because it straight up mitigates 10% of the damage all of the allies receive. It goes to onto the champion that wears Guardian, and also heals them by 10%. So if you follow the clan boss draft and you've seen, like, you know, Hell Hades, Deadwood, YST, Cold Blue Nub, you saw that everybody talked about this set. If you're doing, especially for clan boss, a killable team. Well, if you do a killable team, Guardian comes in really clutch. So this one's one of the ones that you don't want to miss. And as I mentioned in my previous video, I feel like for my level of account, next time this comes around, when there's the Dark Fae as well, I would rather farm the Guardian because it's going to be more useful for me than the lethal set. Okay, so that's what I'm suggesting. If you can farm the Griffin, always farm the Griffin. This is like the main boss on the rotation number 2, and you should always farm him. Then we have Fortitude. Well, Fortitude is the one that you get from Bommel, and 99.99% of you are not going to be farming Bommel because it's too hard. It's a good set, but I'm not going to go too much into it as it's extremely hard to get a farm team. Then we have Lethal. Lethal is the one that we had in the previous rotation, obviously from the Dark Fae. This one's arguably the best for endgame because it's kind of like, it's the Savage set that gives you 10% crit rate as well. So this one can be really huge for your nukers. But again, this one's pretty specific. You only want nuking sets. Again, if you're progressing, you have some good substats and some good main stats, you're gonna use them as offset pieces. But this one's definitely like the best one out of all of them when we're talking about endgame, okay? From the Doom Tower ones at least specifically. Then we're gonna get to the Forge Pass ones. Well, we have Instinct, which again is kind of like a Savage with some speed, but less of the damage. I feel like this one's pretty decent, and it's really huge for progressing accounts again, because you can get yourself some of these ones just by doing some quests as you follow along with it. You don't have to buy it, you know, you can get some of the forging materials without having to buy it, and this can be good. Like, you know, early on when you don't have the good Savage set, or you cannot even farm, you know, the Fire Knight, it's good to have a Savage-ish option on your champions, and that's where Instinct comes in. It's kind of rare though. I think it comes back like two times a year, so you know, you're not going to be getting, there's no way to farm these ones unless it's in the Forge Pass. Then Bolster is one that's kind of like crazy. This one's straight up gives you like the shield set but on crack, because it also heals you. And the amazing thing that Bolster does is, if you have a shield set and a bolster, they stack together. If I'm not mistaken, if you have two shield sets on two people, they do not stack. But if you have bolster and you have a shield, they stack together and you get, you know, bigger shields. This is a lot used in arena, and it can be used in dungeons if you know you're taking a hit. But keep in mind, if you have a team like I do with Lissandra Arbiter that I'm moving really fast and getting lots of turns, this one's gonna be kind of useless unless I'm facing stuff that's, you know, pretty fast. Otherwise, I'm gonna get all my turns in before they get a turn, and by the time they get a turn, I'm not gonna have the shield anymore. And then Defiant is another one that's like, you know, it's the latest one they had released, and this one's pretty crazy because it's kind of like a stalwart on crack. You know, gives you 15% damage mitigations from AoE and the defense, and it's a 2P set. This one again, it just comes from the Forge Pass, so you have to wait for it to come around. But yeah, I guess this will be it for the, you know, Forge Pass and Doom Tower video. I just want to specify this, and I want to mention again, if it's this rotation number 1, the Frost Spider, if you're a progressing account, I would say farm the Fatal one because it's the easiest. If you get obviously towards the mid-late end game, you're gonna farm the Scarab because that's the best set in this one. In the second rotation, when you have the Eternal Dragon, then you have the Magma Dragon again, Griffin, and what's the last one? Nether Spider. Always farm the Griffin. It's a bit tricky up until you find a team, but Griffin is the best one to farm. And then when it comes to the rotation number 3 that just passed, you're always gonna go for the Dark Fae if you're getting, you know, late end game when you want the good Savage gear, or like even mid game. But if you still need some help with your clan boss team and you're using a killable clan boss team, then go for the Griffin and get yourself some more Guardian from there. But yeah, I think we're gonna leave it at this for today. I was gonna talk a little bit about the clan boss, but it's, you know, it's getting crazy. But let me just show you a quick preview of the team that I'm thinking. Let me see, did I save it over here somewhere? No, I did not. But I was thinking of a certain team of building for clan boss that's something like this, just has my Deacon in the lead. But I guess we're gonna leave that for the next video. And I still need to farm a lot, guys. I still need to farm a lot. I need masteries. There's so much going on, and I'm not getting those resources as much as I did because I finished all my progress missions and my challenges. So bye-bye resources. Just, you know, what I get from daily stuff, and it is what it is. But yeah, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. If you did enjoy Minecraft, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.